So that's why a stretch and sweep is pretty pointless, because if you are nowhere near going into labour, perhaps it's your first baby, you're at 40 weeks, 41 weeks, your cervix is long and closed, and we can't get our finger in there, midwives can't get their finger in there, I'm no longer a midwife, to sweep it around. If it's your second baby, perhaps your midwife could get a finger in there and wiggle it around, do a bit of a sweep. But by the time you get to being open enough for a midwife to sweep her finger all the way around, or maybe to stretch and sweep, your cervix is pretty open anyway. What are you doing having a stretch and sweep? So that's my thoughts on it. And of course, having a stretch and sweep increases the likelihood that you will lose some blood. You might have a bit of spotting, you might have a bit of cramping that doesn't lead to labour. Sometimes it does tip you into labour, but look, I wonder why. Because your cervix is already open enough for a midwife to do a sweep. You're about to go into labour anyway. That's why they can be successful. So you might get spotting, you might get cramping, and you're much more likely to get an infection if you have repeated vaginal examinations, because the midwife or doctor, although they put on their sterile gloves, they are putting their sterile gloves through the unsterile air, through the outside of your body, across your skin and into your vagina to find this cervix. So we're pushing things from the outside in, which is another downside. And the third is that if your midwife is able to do a sweep, in rummaging around, she might actually rupture your membrane. She might actually break the bag of waters, which again increases the chance of infection. And if your labour doesn't start within 24 hours of your waters being broken, that is when you are offered an induction, which again, you don't have to have. It's up to you. It's up to you if you want to monitor your signs of infection, but if you have lots of internals, you're much more likely to have an infection. So sometimes that induction is a good idea. Mostly it's not. It's just not. So there's my salt dose cervixes that I made 24 years ago.